Hi everyone. I'm on here this morning to tell my story of how I lost my job of 23 plus years after I got hit with a forklift. On May 10th, 2024, I got hit with a forklift by one of my workers. By one of my coworkers. I was a QC quality control technician. I have been doing that since like 2011, um 2012 I think it was. But anywho, when the forklift driver was at the warehouse I was working at, I was he backed up into me and hit me. He didn't see me. I saw him, but I didn't think he was gonna hit me. So anywho, I lay there on the floor. He comes and try to help me up. I couldn't move. I couldn't walk. My right foot was hurt. So at that point, um, I just had to lay there. And I got up and he helped me get up. Went to sit in the chair. He told the lead person, his lead person, because my lead person don't work at the warehouse, they work at the plant. He told her that he hit me, and he went and told her, and she told him to tell me that she was on lunch break. Okay, cool. So I made it into the office with the help of some other coworkers. I called my boss, um, my director of quality, my supervisor. And I was speaking with both of them on the phone on and off for like 45 minutes, waiting, because they was telling me I couldn't leave because I had to wait until the lead over there came and did what she needed to do. My supervisor nor my director of quality came. They said they had to wait for her because she's the one that's over there. So after about 45 minutes, my director of quality told me, say, you in all that pain, you can just go ahead on the leave. Because my uncle at this point was out there waiting on me because nobody tried to call the rescue squad, ambulance, or anything for me. So I'm like, my thumbnail that's out there, that's actually me getting walked out by my uncle and one of my coworkers, to help me get in my uncle's car. And mind you, I had been calling HR the whole time. Once I got in the office or whatever, my supervisor as well was trying to call HR. She couldn't get them, I couldn't get them. So no one was answering their phone in HR. Ironically, as immediately when I leave, I call HR. Now they answering the phone. So now I'm getting she's telling me, well, why did you leave? You have to do this paperwork. So I said, well, we've been trying to call y'all, and I was given permission to leave. Let me back up. When I was getting ready to leave, my uncle backed into the dock because my coworker told him to back in the dock, and he was going to help me get into the car in my uncle's SUV. So anyway, my uncle had stated that the lead lady that had said that she was on lunch break was standing outside smoking cigarettes. He watched her for like 20 minutes just standing out there. She immediately come running towards me, hollering. That's actually a video. That I took those screenshots for my thumbnail. It's a video. If I knew how to insert it in, I would, but I'll put it in another video eventually. I just wanted to get this part out about how I got fired at my job of 23 plus years. So, like I was saying, where was I at? She came out hollering when she saw my uncle pull in. Where you think you going? I mean, y'all should have heard the way she was telling me. Where you going? You can't go nowhere. You got to do this paperwork. I didn't say anything because I was having a hard time hopping down the stairs, even with the help of my coworker and my uncle. So I didn't say nothing. I waited until I got in the car and got good and seated. And then I replied to her, I stayed here a long time waiting. I was given permission to leave and go ahead and go to the emergency room. So we left. On my way leaving, because of that incident, I said, let me call HR. Now I'm getting answers from HR. And so the HR person is on the phone and she's telling me, well, you wasn't supposed to leave. So I said, well, we've been trying to call you, me and the supervisor. Neither one of us could get a hold of you guys. Well, I don't know why you couldn't get a hold of us and you need to take a drug test. I was like, okay, that's fine. She said, well, you have to go to certain places. So I said, okay, what certain places do I need to go to? I'll take care of that as soon as I leave the emergency room. She was like, well, you need to go to urgent care or either Care South. I go to urgent care because that's where my primary doctor is anyway. So in Care South is like right beside it, so it's no problem. So I went to the emergency room. I did what I need to do in the emergency room. I goes to urgent care. I go there because I'm familiar with them. That's where I normally go for my meetings. So I go into the place. My uncle has to go and get gas. So I'm like, okay. I goes in there and I tell them, look, I'm here. Sapaka told, I didn't mean to call their name, but anyway, my job told me to come here and for you guys to call them and they'll get the paperwork sent over because I have to take a drug test because I had an incident at work. Okay. So they tell me, well, you can't just walk in here and do a drug test and it don't work like that. And I'm like, okay. So my uncle's gone, like I said, and I'm hopping, but South Care is right beside the place I go see my medical doctor, my primary doctor. So my uncle is gone. At this point, I'm like, let me just try to hop over there. So I'm hopping over there on 1 feet. Some guy felt sorry for me. He helped me get up. It was a kind of hill that I had to try to go up, just a little hill. And he helped me up the hill. And I got in Care South. Same thing. Have you ever been here before? No. Well, you can't just take a drug test. I was like, well, my job told me to tell y'all they would send the paperwork if y'all just called them. They said, no, it don't work like that. So I text my uncle and I sit there and I text my uncle and I tell my uncle, I said, just come and pick me up from Care South because I had to come over here because I couldn't do it over there and they're not letting me do it over here. He was like, okay. So while I'm in Care South, I'm calling my job back. I can't get HR. So now I'm calling my director of quality. And I'm telling him I'm trying to call them because they telling me I can't take my drug test. They want me to take a drug test. Okay. So he was like, okay, let me call Betty now. So he calls me back and he said, well, Betty, I don't be mean to call these people names. But anyway, he called HR, the main person in HR. I ain't called no last name, so it's okay. So he calls HR and then he calls me back. And ironically, he got in touch with, I don't know if he called her direct number or whatever, but I don't have it. It's on a thing somewhere at work, but I didn't have that information. So I was just calling the office. So he calls me back and said, she said, she don't know why they tell you that. She finna call them now. I was like, okay, call them. You know, I don't care. What you think? I'm lying? So anyway, that day went by. The next day, I got a phone call from Betty. Well, from the HR person. And the first thing she says to me, when you coming back to work? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know when I'm coming back to work. I got to wait to see what the orthopedics say, you know. So, that was the end of her. I never heard anything back from her the whole while I was out. The other lady that works there, I'm not gonna call her name. I didn't mean to call the other person's name, but anywho, I did. She was like, well, we finna get your workers' comp started up. I was like, okay, fine, thank you. Okay. Well, it took me a whole month to actually, I got hit May the 10th. I would say around June 6th. Is June 6th when I had my surgery? I can't remember. No, I got hit May the 10th. I can't remember exactly, y'all. And I don't want to lie. I have to look through some paperwork and tell y'all exactly when. But it was like a month later that I saw the orthopedic. And the orthopedic was like, there's no way they should have took this long for you to get in here. I was like, well, I had to do what I was told to do. He was like, yeah, I understand that. So, you know, the whole while I'm out on workers' comp for the 3 months, you know, I'm getting paid, you know, decent or whatever. And I'm hearing all these things. I'm not going to call these people name. I'm hearing a lot of stuff saying that it was my fault. I was told by someone that the safety person, they said they went to the safety person to ask the safety person had they made a decision on the issue that happened on the incident that happened at work, and they told the person, yeah, it was Keisha's fault. And he was like, well, how you gonna say it's Keisha's fault and she's not even back at work? Oh, I called her and had a conversation with her. So when he told me this, I was like, huh? Nobody called me. I didn't talk to a safety person because, mind you, at the time of the incident, we didn't even have a safety person. I was told they hired one like a week or two after the incident, to get the paperwork and stuff in order, having all the guys to check off the safety checklist that they're supposed to be doing anyway, which they wasn't doing. I have paperwork and proof of all of this stuff. So, I'm like, these people, and then they put all these new bars and things up that should have been there in the first place to prevent an accident from like that happening. But the whole bottom line was they blaming me for this stuff. They blaming me. So I started noticing when I did come back to work. I went back to work around August. Okay, I went back to work around August. Okay, August 6th, I think to be exact. I could have it wrong. I don't know. Like I said, I'm just telling y'all my story of how I got fired of 23 plus years from a job that I was a very good worker on. Okay, so I gets back to work. I'm noticing a lot of things like I'm sending out emails that are important. No one is responding. Um, I feel like some of my work has been trying to be sabotaged, but I'm finding every error and I'm not making any mistakes. I'm making sure everything is getting fixed properly before I get ready to ship it out, because that's what I did. I was a quality control technician, and basically that job consisted of me making sure everything that came in was in good quality and everything that got shipped out was in good quality. So that was my job. I was very good at my job. I even have paperwork stating where the auditor gave me a special shout out and said I was very good at my job. And that was a problem because when they sent that out, this was before I got hit, mind you. This was probably in 2023 when they sent that out. When that newsletter went up to everybody that has a email at my job, and I was told that the HR lady told the person that sent the email out to don't ever do that again. Don't you ever send no email out like that again. Mind you, he complimented plenty of people for the audit. It's just that the auditor actually gave me a special shout out, and he did because he gave it to me. So I already knew that, so it didn't really need to go in the email. And I know what I do on my job, so it didn't matter to me whether it was there or not. It was just the point of how it was said to me, how the HR woman had a problem with the person sending the email out like that, because they never do that. Some jobs just don't give you sentences. But since then, they've been sending emails out when the order go out. Shout out to everybody. You all did a good job. So, I felt like it was things towards me. The last order I couldn't participate in simply because I was still under workers' comp when I went back to work. And I went back to work right before the audit. And my coworker, he wasn't that trained in that area, so they didn't really want him to do it. So every time I would say something to the other employees about, y'all didn't check the cage. It's a cage thing where you have to go in there and count and make sure all the numbers are matching. If not, you have to, get in touch with the person to make sure that the paperwork is matching up to what the numbers are in the cage. And I kept telling everybody, my supervisor, the lead person that's at the warehouse over her warehouse people, and of course I would call to the plant and let my boss know, my supervisor know that it wasn't done, and everybody just act like it wasn't important. So I was like, oh, okay, so that's how y'all want to do it. So like I said, I started noticing a lot of changes and things like that. So I already knew once they got me off for workers' comp, they were probably gonna fire me anyway, which I was cool with all of that, because y'all, this job has been treating me unfairly for years. Really, for years. And then that just took the straw for me when I got hit. Nobody came to my aid. Nobody called the ambulance. It led me to believe that if I was to have a heart attack or a stroke and pass out in that place, that no one would call for aid for me until I died. So at this point, I didn't want to be there. I had been praying to God anyway about not wanting to be there. And I even asked them years ago, maybe 2016, 17, I can't remember exactly, to please find me. Why y'all keep taking me through this? Because y'all, I have so many stories about this job. I'm not gonna share all that right now. But I'm gonna be starting like a series. Not really a series, but I'm gonna just be letting people know about certain things that I dealt with on my job for that many years. And I even had QCs and not QCs, my supervisors and my lead telling me, I don't know how you putting up with these people all these years after being treated the way you've been treated. See, everybody knew, God knows too. So, back to me getting fired. Okay. Mind you, I had a lawyer. Okay. First of all, I've been on that. So he had already been coaching me. Keisha, employees don't really like to keep you on once you get a lawyer and you're doing legal actions towards them. And I was fine with that. I understand that. So I already knew that was coming. But the way that I did it was they wasn't supposed to be able to touch me. I had just got a call from my lawyer maybe 2 days ago telling me my case had been settled and to be extra careful, which he's been telling me the whole ride what to say and what not to say. So I've been doing that. So I say I came to work August. We get a break in December for like 2 weeks. Ever since we came in from break in December, which was January the 2nd, it really has gotten bad. And I'll say about 2 weeks, that's when I was about 2 weeks, 3 weeks in after that, my lawyer called me and told me the case had been settled, blah, say, and to be extremely careful because they're gonna be looking anything, your work related, just anything, just ignore anybody who's saying anything to you out the way. And that's what I've been doing because y'all literally I've been getting cursed out. I have a coworker, there's only two of us that sits in my office. And he been cussing me out. I mean, going off for no reason. Just going off for no reason on me for ever since January the 2nd. And y'all, I've been ignoring it. Until one day a coworker was like, you notice he got a camera pointing directly at you. So just watch that. I'm like, oh, that's a camera because I didn't know. So he had this thing set up on his desk where he had a camera like set towards me. So what I did was set up me some boxes on my desk to block it. And different people will come in, like my lead or whatever, or some of the truck drivers. They would ask me, why you got those boxes like that up there? And I'm like, because I don't want to be on his camera. He got a camera over there. Oh, he would get the cussing. He would cuss me out, and I would ignore it. I was doing what I was told to do. I would ignore it because don't nothing come from words but sounds. Okay, people? So, I guess he was just I'm guessing because I know these people I work with. I've been working with them for years, and I know how shysty they are. Right up into the HR, you know the people you work with when you work with them for years. Okay, so I think I received another phone call saying, yeah, the paperwork we waiting for such. I was like, okay, fine. Be extra careful, extra careful, Keisha. So I'm like, okay. I'm being extra careful. So the cursing just kept getting worse, but I was ignoring it. So one day I was on my way to turn in some paperwork, walking from one area, from my office to another office area, to the warehouse office to turn me some paperwork in, right? So a coworker asked me, she's from the warehouse, she was like, Keisha, what did so-and-so say? I was like, girl, whatever he said, it's all love. He don't mean no harm. You and this person always, And we was laughing. So my coworker goes off, come in my face, y'all. I mean, when I say come in my face, y'all, I mean going off. You rude, ain't you? You so-and-so. And I'm like, at this point, I'm human. I'm like, what is you talking about? What is you talking about? Why is you in my face? You a whole man. Why is you in my face? And the coworker that asked me the question was in between us. So she was like, where's this coming from? She ain't even saying nothing to you. What is you doing? I don't know. So anyway, now here go they run to this now. Ain't nobody run when I got hit. But they run for that because they been wanting me gone so bad, and I wasn't doing nothing wrong, talking proper. Hey, sweetie, doing everything I was supposed to do. Okay. They ran for that. Even my supervisor ran for that. She didn't run. She didn't run when I got hit. She talked to me on the phone, but she didn't come over there to see about me. Oh, okay. So I noticed all this stuff, so I already knew this is it. They've been trying to get rid of me. They gonna get rid of me. So fine. That part passed. They came. The people came before the people came. I was up front, and he was, I guess, in the back, and I was getting ready to walk to my office, which was right there by the bathroom. I hadn't even made it to the bathroom. I was about to make it to where the bathroom, and I guess he came around the corner and saw me. And I was telling them, I was like, y'all, I got a right to respect, to defend myself. Like ain't nobody just finna come and just be all up in my face. I got a right to, this boy came up from nowhere going off and pushed me. Oh, we finna both go down now because you's not finna put your hands on me, okay? So anyway, to make a long story short, they goes in the room with him first when the plant manager and stuff got there, and they goes in the room with him first, and they do their little talk or whatever. The girl that was there I heard her tell them before they even went in a meeting and talked to him. She told him, Keisha ain't do nothing. But I was telling her, girl, they want me on anyway. You was wasting your time. They gonna use this against me. Sure enough, when it was time for them to come to me and talk to me, she asked them, do y'all want to come in? They told her no. So I guess in there they have this little fake talk with me. I know it's all fake. It is what it is. You come and you just come and see Betty in the morning. Where I called her name again. I said, okay, fine. So you come at 9 o'clock. I said, okay, fine. So I goes to see her, my supervisor up there, and the plant manager's in there. Okay, mind you, I already knew he been wanting me gone. I even told him in that meeting the day before, I been heard you want me gone. Somebody was holding you back, and it had to be Betty. And I asked him, he kept asking me stuff like, why do you feel like I want to be gone? And so I told him, you know, the guy that hit me, Ben, told me that you wanted me gone. And the fact that you lied on me one time, I'll tell y'all about that story too. My director of quality got on me because he told him that I was hollering at, my plant manager told him I was hollering at him. So my director of quality got on me. Y'all, I'll tell you about all that later on. He's talking about, that's a lie. And I'm going to call him over here right now. We're going to get to the bottom of this. He lying. I know he was lying. I said, well, I don't understand why you angry with him for, because he doing his job. Because if you telling him I'm disrespecting him, what he supposed to do? But anyway, child, I ain't have time for it. So to make a long story short, I went to HR the next morning, and of course they fired me. And I was okay with that. I just didn't like the fact that where they tried to fire me and say that I was endangering other people's lives. No, I was defending myself. And I wouldn't sign their paperwork that they was asking me to sign. Talking about, you're going to have a hard time getting unemployment if you don't sign this. Well, I said it'll be all right because I'm not signing nothing that I don't agree with. Period. And the way that she tried to give it to me, y'all, she handed me a paper first, like just for me to sign. She was like, just for you to sign to show that we told you and you was warned and all this and that. I said, oh, okay, that's all good, but where's the paper that I'm actually signing for? Then she handed me the paper saying, oh, here you go. Read it carefully. I said, but that's what you should have started with, sweetie. I read that. I said, I looked her dead in her eyes. I said, I'm not signing this. Well, if you don't sign, oh, she turned red. If you don't sign it, you're going to have a hard time getting your unemployment. I told her it'll be okay. I don't know if I look like boo-boo in the food, boo-boo the food. But baby, no, I'm not signing that. I'm not doing it. But anyway, y'all, this is part 1. And I will get back to y'all shortly with the rest of my stories because I have plenty. Bye.